Good morning. Welcome back to our channel OET with V and V. Today, we are going to discuss speaking subtest. You all know very well that during the examination, we have to do 2 role play cards. And for each card, you have to talk for 5 minutes and you will get 3 minutes to prepare. When I'm saying that you have to talk for 5 minutes, doesn't mean that the entire 5 minutes you have to talk. If you're doing like that also, you're not going to score well. This is a role play card that means a dialogue, not a monologue. This is the first thing that you have to remember before entering the examination hall, that it's not a monologue, but a dialogue. Dialogue means you have to talk and make others to talk to you. Then only it will be a dialogue, right? So when you are talking to a patient, you have to ask several questions and definitely make him to answer for that questions. And you have to be much attentive to the answers that he is giving to you. Okay, so I know that if I'm saying like this, you will be totally confused. So what I'm planning to do is that we can go to a role play card, we can understand that and we can discuss on that, and we have to discuss how to do that. So let's go to a role play card. Here, you can see a role play card. I think all of you can see my screen properly. So when we are doing this writing subtest, always the teachers are instructing you that you have to go to the down part and check the writing task and understand properly to whom you are writing. Then only you will be able to make a flat form of writing. Exactly like that in speaking subtest, if you don't know what is the setting, you will not be able to speak properly, or you will not be able to make the role play card properly. So the first thing that you have to understand is the setting, and here the setting is a small country town. Do you get any idea? I am damn sure that you are slightly confused in that one. No worries. If we are not getting a clear idea in the settings, you have to read the scenario. Let's go on the scenario. You are a community care nurse working in a small country town. So you are a community care nurse. The matron of the local hospital has asked you to visit Darcy Doolan. To visit whom? Darcy Doolan. The name of the patient is already given here, Darcy Doolan. He is a local sharing contractor who recently cut his foot badly when he trod on a broken glass while leaving a hotel. So first you understood that you are a care nurse, community care nurse. Your patient's name is Darcy Doolan, and he had a cut on his foot. Okay, remaining part. He was treated at the outpatient department and told to keep the wound clean and return in 5 days to have the stitches removed. Okay, so he had stitches, and once he was treated in outpatient department, he didn't return, and you are now found the wound has become infected. Do the patient came back to the hospital? No, not at all. But you found the wound being infected. Then how it happened? Definitely not in Zoom meeting, right? Yeah, you had a visit. So this is what it's a home visit. Okay. So we can discuss this one by one, yeah, bit by bit. So before going to the further task, I would like to show you one thing, that what things we have to prepare before doing a role play card. In the beginning, I already told you that you are getting 3 minutes. How many minutes? 3 minutes to prepare the card. We have in a false concept that when we are practicing also we have to do all these things in 3 minutes. It's not like that. First you have to learn, then you have to learn to manage in time, in time management, right? So when you are preparing in the beginning, there is no need to think that I have to prepare within 3 minutes. You make 3 minutes, you take 3 minutes, 30 minutes, 3 hours. That doesn't matter. The matter is that do you understood the role play card properly or not? If you're doing continuously like this, automatically you will be able to do, that means you will be able to prepare the card in 3 minutes. That's done. Okay, fine. So we already read the role play card, we read the scenario, and after reading the scenario, what things we have to understand, that we are going to discuss here. You can see my screen here. The first thing that you have to understand is what is the setting. In setting, it's not the small country town. And when we read the scenario, we already came to know that you are a community care nurse. Any doubt? No, I know there's no doubt. Let's go further. The second thing, the scenario, the name of the patient is Darcy Doolan. And we have to remember what things they already discussed there. The first thing is that this patient, Darcy Doolan, had a cut on foot. Right? There's explanation as while he was leaving the hospital, trod on a glass. These things we don't want. The only thing that we want is that he had a cut on foot. The next thing given there is he was treated in outpatient department. Next one, instructed to keep the wound clean, have to return to remove the stitches. The patient didn't come. Okay, so you understood the scenario, right? And the last part is that now you found the wound infected. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things are there, what you understood from the role play card scenario. Okay, the next. Before going to the next, let's come back to the role play card. Here, the role play card is there, and the next part given for you is the task. We can see that total 5 tasks is for you. And whenever you are reading, practicing this role play card or role play card task, you have to make sure that always you are underlining the verb. Here, look, explain. That's the verb here. On the second task, ask. Next one also, ask. Third one, outline. Fifth one, strongly recommend. You will underline these things. Okay, let's read the task number 1. Explain to Darcy that you come to check his wound. Definitely that we have to do along with the introduction. Okay. And the second part or the second task for you is ask why he didn't return to the hospital. That simply you can ask. Okay. The third thing, ask if there is any pain or swelling. Okay, there's a complication is there. There's confusion is there. You already assess the wound. Or if you assess the wound, don't ask about the swelling, just about the pain, because when you are assessing, you know that it's swelling is there or not. Okay, that depends. Okay, so after assessing, if you are taking this task, definitely ask only about the pain. If you are asking this question before the assessment of the wound, you have to ask this both. Any confusion? No. The fourth task for you is that outline the possible consequence if the wound is not treated. We can understand from this role play card that if the patient had a wound and he had stitches, and if he is not returning to hospital back for this treatment, means he's a careless patient, right? A careless person. So we have to strongly recommend him. Otherwise, never ever he will understand the consequence of that one. So we have to explain. There you need a detailed explanation why he should have to back to the hospital. Okay, after that, the last task for you is that strongly recommend that he return to outpatient immediately for further treatment. That depends, right? No, depends. We can connect the fourth and fifth points together. So the task, explain, ask, outline, then strongly recommend. Okay, coming back to our PPT, we can check what things we have to do here. The first thing, we have to wish the patient. That depends on the timing of the examination. If you're having the examination in the morning, you have to say good morning. And if it is in afternoon, definitely afternoon. There is no rule that I have to say good morning, mostly, yeah. But there is one thing. Sometimes if it is given in the cue card, I'm really sorry that not in cue card, but in role play card, this is happening early in morning, in evening. So you have to use that. If nothing is given like that, you have to talk according to the timing that you are entering for the examination. Okay, so we are wishing the patient good morning or good afternoon. The second thing, remember, is that you don't say continuously do that. Good morning and coming back with the next things. No, not at all. You have to wish and you have to wait for a while for the response from the patient. Good morning. Then definitely the patient will wish back you. So that time you have to give to him. Okay. After that, what to do? And here the name of the patient is Darcy Doolan. And normally in the first language persons, we are using the second name to call. So it's better to call the patient by the second name. So mention the patient, Mr. Doolan. Pronunciation Doolan, you can say. Doolan, you can say. No problem. But don't say Mr. Darcy, but Mr. Always remember that you are using Mr., Miss, Mrs. when you are referring a patient. Mr. Doolan, Mr. Doolan. Okay, the next thing, we have to have some confirmation, right? You are on a home visit. So definitely you have to confirm that this is that particular person's home. So after wishing, you have to ask a question. For you are in search of Doolan's house, you can ask, is this Mr. Doolan's house? Yeah, Doolan's home. Yeah, definitely he has to say yes only. If he say no, means that finished. We can't move with the role play card. So the answer will be definitely yes. And one more thing you have to confirm the patient. Okay, you reached a home and you confirm that is it Duran's house. The person who came out said it's yes. That doesn't mean that the person that whom you met is Mr. Duran, right? So then you have to confirm that. Then you have to ask this question: am I talking to Mr. Dulan? Am I talking to Mr. Dulan? Definitely for this also he has to say yes. If he says no, finish that matter, finish there. So he will say yes only. Then the third thing is that you have to confirm that it's the right time to talk. Okay, so you will ask this question, Mr. Doolan, is this the right time to talk? Is this the right time to talk? Okay, so remember one thing, when we are doing this home visit, mostly, I'm talking about the most cases, you have to have three confirmations. Like first, you have to confirm the house. Second, you have to confirm the patient. And third, you have to confirm, is it the right time to talk or not? Any confusion? No. Okay, let's move further. Then this is the task for you. The first is that you have to introduce yourself, and we are memorizing that only. But you make sure that whenever you are introducing yourself in an examination, it should be naturally. Don't make such a feeling that you memorized this and you are going to say it. I mean, you said that. Apart from that one, like in a normal case, you have to introduce. So suppose if your name is Sarah, you can say like this: I'm Sarah, one of the registered nurses working in this community health care or community health center. Okay, no problem. Or else you can say like this, if you don't like to drag this introduction too much, you can say that I am Sarah, the community nurse or community health nurse, community care nurse. No problem. Okay. So first thing, you confirmed the house, you confirm the patient, you confirm the time, and now you introduce yourself. Now, this is the time to go for further. That means you have to think about the task. And your first task here is that explain to Darcy that you have come to check on his wound. Okay. So this task you can do along with the introduction part, right? So let's check how to do that one. We will add some more to that one. Okay, you just think that your name is Sarah. So you will say that I'm Sarah, one of the registered nurses working in this community health center. My matron instructed me to visit you and check the status of your wound. Can I? Okay, the wound check you can do later. Yeah, right now. Choice is yours. Okay, actually, there is no specific rule that you have to check the wound in the first or you have to check the wound the second time only. No, not at all. It's your convenience. Okay, so you can introduce yourself like this. Along with the introduction, you can complete the first task also. Explain to Darcy that you have come to check on his wound. So you introduce like this. I'm Sarah, one of the registered nurses working in this community health center. Introduction finish. My matron instructed me to visit you and check the status of your wound. Can I? Always remember to ask a lot of questions and make the patient talk to you. For this one, definitely he has to say the answer that yes, you know very well. Okay, so definitely he will say yes, and you will check the wound. And then how to move to the next task. What is the next task? The next task asks why he didn't return to the hospital. Okay, so after checking the wound, you have to say like this: Mr. Doolan, before discussing the wound condition, can I ask some questions, please? Every time you just make sure that you are getting permission and ask, please, I mean, say please a lot. Mr. Doolan, before discussing the wound condition, can I ask some questions, you, please? For this also, he will say yes only. Do he have any option? No, he has only one option to say yes, 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 and yes. Okay. So he will say yes to you, and you are going to ask questions to him. Okay. And one thing that we are instructing in OET speaking is that don't ask compound questions. That means two, three things you don't ask together. Okay, your patient is of 20 years old and he came with just fever. It's fine. He can answer your compound questions. But imagine that your patient is of 60 years old and he has some signs of dementia and suffering with some sort of heart disease, these and that and everything. So if you ask a compound question, he will not be able to answer for all these questions together. I mean, in detail, right? So what is happening is that if you are not getting an answer, means that you are not getting the exact information regarding the patient, and if you are not getting the exact information regarding the patient, means you can't provide a better treatment for him. Right. So don't ask compound questions. Don't ask compound questions one by one. Okay. So you are going to ask like this, Mr. Doolan, if I'm not wrong, you have to come to the hospital for stitches removal. I'm afraid you didn't. Can I know the reason behind that, please? Okay. This one you also can ask like this, hey, Mr. Doolan, you didn't come to the hospital. Why? Can you ask like that? No, because we are saying the customer is the king, exactly like that. The patient is king for you, and you have to treat him like a king. So you can go with harsh or rash questions to him. So you will very simple, I mean, politely, you will ask this question to him, Mr. Doolan, if I'm not wrong, you have to come to the hospital for the stitches removal. I'm afraid you didn't. Can I know the reason behind that, please? This is the question. And definitely he will give an answer for that one. Exactly, that depends on the patient, or patient or the person who is sitting opposite to you. So we can't exactly predict what he's going to answer. Okay. And so our next task is ask if there is any pain or swelling. And the next task is outline the possible consequence if the wound is not treated. This is one of the most important tasks for you. Outline the possible consequence if the wound is not treated. I already told you that when we read this scenario, we will come to a conclusion that the patient that you are dealing is totally careless one. So if you're not explaining the things to him properly, definitely he will not come for the treatment, right? So it's your responsibility. It's what we say, it's your task to bring him back to the hospital. So you have to talk to him in such a way that he has to understand the consequence properly, but don't make him scared. Okay, just talk him properly, outline the consequence, and make him to come back to the hospital. Okay. So we talked that why the first task for us, not the first task. The second was that why he didn't come to the hospital for the further treatment. So let's listen what he said. So according to his task, he has to say like this. He removed the stitches by himself. Definitely he will say this one. Okay. And you know very well that stitches removal should not have to be done by the patient himself, right? It's totally against the medical ethical or medical procedure. So as a medical practitioner or a professional, you have to be shocked with that news that the person didn't come to the hospital. He removed the stitches by himself. It's a shocking news for you. So when you hear this one, you should have to have an expression for that one. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't say that. Oh my God. English is an expressive language, right? So when you are saying something, you have to say it with expressions. Oh my God, you removed the stitches by yourself. I can't believe that. Apart from that one, we can say like this also. Oh my God, you removed the stitches by yourself. I can't believe that. But that's something different, right? We have to say with the expressions. And you said that you can't believe that one. It should not have to happen. That means that, right? So you have to explain the reason for that one, right? So that's the reason. The reason is here, Mr. Doolan, stitches removal has to happen in a sterile condition by a medical professional only. If I'm not wrong, you didn't dress the wound properly. Am I right, Mr. Doolan? Because, the stitches removal has to happen or have to happen in a hospital only, not in outside, right? It's have to happen in a sterile condition with the medical practitioner. So that's why you got shocked when he said so. And you got shocked that you expressed by your wordings that, oh my God. Okay. And you explained the reason also why you got shocked. This is the reason that's in front of you. Okay. Next. Mr. Doolan, I can see that your wound is infected. Do you feel any pain? Actually, we already assessed the wound, and in the beginning, we already said that we can talk about the wound condition later. Before that, I have to ask some questions. You ask some questions. Now that part finished. So you will say that, Mr. Doolan, I can see that your wound is infected. Do you feel any pain? So he has to say yes, right? He will say yes. Then what to say? Okay, this is the one. Then in most of the role play cards, if you are getting a chance to talk about the pain, you can say your patient to rate the pain, right? For that one, we can say like this. Mr. Doolan, can you please rate your pain on a pain scale if 0 is the least and 10 is the maximum? Okay. For that one, two types of answers you can get. Maybe he has much pain, or he will rate 5 or more than that. If he's rating 5 or more than that, you can say, oh my God, you have severe pain, right? How do you manage the pain? Do you take any medication? You have to be sympathetic to him. Don't feel happy, ha ha ha, you have pain, right? No, not like that. You have to be sympathetic. Oh my God, you have severe pain, right? This feeling should have to come in your talking. Okay, so sometimes he may say that it's below 5. Yeah, it's 2, yeah, 3. Then you have to say, thank God, much pain is not there. You have to praise him. Yeah, fine. Much pain is not there. Okay. Now, now fourth task, right? You are going to outline the importance of coming back to the hospital for the treatment. So for that also, for before explaining anything, you have to seek permission from the patient. Mr. Doolan, I would like to say something important to you. Can I? Can I? He has to say yes, because he's the yes boss, right? He has to say yes, yes, and yes. So this is the thing that you have to talk. You are going to talk to him, Mr. Doolan. You must seek medical attention for your wound as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will lead to many complications. And you will explain what are the complications. Complications like spreading the infection to the whole body. Moreover, bacteria from the localized wound enter the capillaries at the wound site and travel into the larger blood vessels, which take them throughout the body. So I can recommend you to come to the hospital today itself. Mr. Doolan, hope you are willing to come to the hospital. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to use the exact wording like this. You are totally free to use any wording, but you have to stress the importance of the treatment. That's all. Okay. And okay, fine. At last, he has to say that, okay, I will come with you. Then, as a conclusion, Mr. Doolan, I'm really glad that you accepted my words. Thanks for being cooperative. Have a nice day. And this is the time for me to say thank you to you. And if you like this video, please like it and comment, and definitely please subscribe. Bye-bye.